we should try, to serve things as authentic as it is. Feel proud, because the Italian never say, "Oh, I'm sorry, my food is pedas," or "I'm sorry because my pizza is like this." No, they never apologize. And so why should we apologize? We have a lot of people in Malaysia, especially our Malay people. "Oh, we don't want to serve this too hot," or "We don't want to put this too much belacan because it's smelly." Imagine how dangerous it is. When society don't care anymore of our heritage and all that, we don't appreciate makanan kita because we always.
Welcome to Hungry Bites, the snack-sized series from The Hungry Immigrant, where we revisit powerful moments that remind us why food is never just food. Today, we sit with Malaysia's culinary icon, Chef Wan, a storyteller, an educator, and a tireless ambassador for Malaysian food heritage. From selling kuih as a child to representing Malaysia on the world stage, Chef Wan has always believed that food carries our identity, our values, and our pride. In this bite, he reminds us why authenticity matters, why we should never apologize for our flavors, and why preserving tradition at the table is much more than just recipes. It's about love, respect, and legacy.
So when I was small, 9 years old, time Chinese New Year, I will have a pop-up store in front of the house. It's just boxes of crate of anything I can sell. And then back from school, then I will start to have my so-called semua kedai runcit lah. Even at a young age, after this beautiful harvest from my own vegetable plot garden, I would also sell them to all my neighbours and all that. So as a child, I was very, knowing that you can work that hard and make money while other kids are playing football in the field and all that, and I can't be bothered, no? So that's why I asked my mother, nak menjaga kuih lah, I want to sell kuih. My mother said, "You are still small, kecil, boleh kah?" Kata, "Can lah." So I spent a lot of time in my kitchen, my mother's kitchen, to perfect, all the selimungka, the kuih. So whatever that I find is not good enough, I will go and try and learn from my neighbour's home. Makcik-makcik, more experienced than my mother kan. So I went there, and sometimes just to volunteer to make kuih, sometimes apam lah, buat cake ni, cake tu and all that. That's always been me. So whatever I want to do, I always say if I put my thoughts and work hard, even dengan dua tangan ni, everything will jadi.
We need to explain to the global audience, and I believe in the Makciks, and I was also brought up by Makciks, and there's this power of the Makciks, I believe. So like in Asia, especially in Malaysia, we have this term we call aunties, and it's a form of respect, and we go around, we call everyone auntie, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's the neighbor's mother or your real auntie who's related to you, everyone by politeness we call auntie, right? And they actually form the backbone of a lot of the culinary heritage that we have.
Yes. So because if you spend long time with them, and then you begin to learn that these are very experienced people in the culinary world, and so they will pass down their recipe, because they like a child who is hardworking, easily motivated and driven. Like me back then, I was very fussy about cleanliness and personal hygiene and cleaning up after my work. So makcik kata, bagus lah kau ni, because when you work, I can see you tidy up, you clean, all that. I wish my children is like that. I wish my daughter is like that. So I guess I was born to be a person who not only value that culinary world, but also understand that you have to put effort to go out there to learn. At that time, learning whether I'm volunteering, someone selling satay, cucuk satay for like few hours, to get hundreds of them, sampai kuning-kuning tangan pergi sekolah, cikgu kata, because turmeric and all that. But then I learned to cucuk properly, to get them that right, everything, so that they look perfect, to cut them, the meat all the same size, so that they all cook at the same time and all that. Before even I went into a professional chef kitchen to work, I've already been handed down this skill.
Being already all around the world yourself, whenever I travel, the biggest problem for me is when I say I'm from Malaysia. Number one, where is Malaysia? Right, which is getting better nowadays. We have Malaysians all around the world, but Malaysian food. As the Malaysian food ambassador, how would you define or explain to people who do not know Malaysia at all, what is Malaysian food?
It's easy for people to define Chinese, Japanese, Indian kan, and all that. But then when it comes to Malaysia, people will say like, what is Malaysian cuisine kan? They understand Thai. Some also now begin to understand more of Vietnam as well.
Yes.
But they don't understand what Malaysian or Singaporean cuisine either. I always like to see our cuisine, Malaysian, as really a melting pot of Asia, basically. Not just Southeast Asia, but Asia in general. Because a part of us is a part of just about everybody. Whether it's our neighbour, Thailand, Indonesia. If you look back history, all these immigrants coming kan ke tanah Melayu kan. So even from China and all that, peranakan, baba, nyonya, then we have the Portuguese at that time and the British come much later. So that's when you look at the history back of the country, that's what it is. So you can't change that. As I always say, can you change history? You can't kan. So we're very lucky because a part of us is a part of Asia too. So when people ask me what is Malaysian cuisine, we are a melting pot of just about everything in Asia lah.
When we open restaurants abroad and all, I feel that it's no longer like that. That back in the days we used to water our food down to suit the customers, right? Do you think that we are still doing that? Do you think we should be doing that?
No, we should not, because we should try and give it the way it is. For example, the Italian for many centuries, they never dilute their need, and they never really, for example, give all kinds of excuses lah. Oh, why we're doing this because we don't have this. They always try to give. It's always someone else from another country that takes it and then try to produce Italian food in America, then become American Italian. But then you have to understand, food evolves over a period of time, and people will change their taste. But people who cannot eat so much spicy foods, when they start to eat more and more, then they get used to that spiciness. Then they have the craving for it also, kan? We should try, to serve things as authentic as it is. Feel proud, because the Italian never say, oh, I'm sorry, my food is pedas, or I'm sorry because my pizza is like this. No, they never apologize. They say pizza. And so why should we apologize? We have a lot of people in Malaysia, especially our Malay people, oh, we don't want to serve this too hot, or we don't want to put this too much belacan because it's smelly. And so I suggest this. So many times when we just serve at the table, a lot of all these diplomats that come in, they love it. People from Norway, I was so surprised. They're from there. We love this. When I go to a lot of all those world food festivals, for many years I represent Malaysia at all these big food expo. We bring companies, so I cook and demonstrate and all that. And then I always get feedback from people who try all sorts of my dalcha lah, rendang lah, nasi minyak. They love everything. Oh my God, this family even making oyster pancake. They're like, oh, we never thought about oyster coming up from the shell, and you stir fry with tauge, put all that, and put a lot of kuchai inside there. This is beautiful. This I can eat 2 plates of this. Actually, a lot of people in the whole world food, there's a lot of similarity. You see, in Philippines, they have the kinilaw, just like the ceviche. Then you go to Peru, ceviche. Mexico, they have ceviche. So all this, because the whole idea is just curing all this seafood. And then kita do umai in Sarawak. So then when I do that, then I try to, and people say, oh yes, you're right. Sometimes you just need to think on that so that people can relate that. So that's why in a lot of my show, when I do that, I make some, so then people begin to understand. Oli bolen during the winter time, there is like a large ball we fry. You see them everywhere on the street in Netherlands. In Malaysia, we put banana, jadi macam cukodok pisang kan. But there, they put grated apple, all the raisins and nuts and everything, and then mix everything up. Then when you fry them and they float up, and then after that you put powdered sugar, and they taste so good, Had I not traveled a lot, to the Netherlands and see this by myself and all that. And actually, when I go on television, you're so well traveled and you've seen that, and then you come back and you do something, and then people understand it more.
First thing that I have to say to that is when you say that we should not water our dishes down, and
we should be proud.
I'm like, he's like slapping me in the face because sometimes I do it. I'm guilty of doing it.
No, it's okay. It's just that if you're doing that, it's your own style. You're going to create your own. It's fine.
No, but we're always so worried that
but the food should stay, because I always say, hilang makanan, hilang budaya, hilanglah culture kita. If you lose your heritage, your cooking and all that, and then your culture is gone, and everything is gone. So tomorrow, the new generation will not remember how it tastes like, because everybody comes in and try to diversify, try to do this. This is the dangerous part about us not preserving our heritage. So that's why it's very important that we do that.
And for you, like regardless of anything, like what's the one thing that comes to your mind that what is it that we really need to preserve no matter what?
We still need to preserve, all kita punya, pemakanan lama-lama, especially very important, because you know why? More and more generation have phased out and passed away. Our great aunties, great grandmother, the best cook, and many of them have left us. And then the new generation, I'm going to expose to a lot of Western things, especially now with all these fast food changes. About anybody can open up there with, so people just literally go down to get food. And sometimes, like when I go to Singapore, for example, I see people eat on Orchard Street with their children on Sunday, family in what they call that, in this styrofoam box. And I said, don't these people have home? Like to eat proper. So if you teach your kids, just sit outside on the street to eat in styrofoam and then go shopping and that's it. It doesn't look good, isn't it? The kids don't communicate with their parents. They're out in the street watching people passing by. And it's not the cleanest place to eat as well. What kind of things that you're teaching your children kan, in terms of manners? When we used to sit at the table, we used to set table. I remember when my father said, okay, we have to eat now. So all of us, no matter what we do, we have to clean the table, put tablecloth. Then after that, we finish, we have to clean up, wipe, store everything back. So my father made us responsible to even set the table and all that. So imagine people who don't do that and just literally eat in front of television or eat somewhere on the street. Because why? Because they simply don't care. So naturally, the children in the future also will follow the same thing. Then slowly, kita lose this wonderful spirit of eating properly, conversing while we're eating, sharing knowledge, talking, and then maybe enjoying the food, appreciating what our mother is cooking in front of us, our father, so that we have more love and respect for our parents, for our grandparents. Imagine how dangerous it is. When society don't care anymore of our heritage and all that, we don't appreciate makanan kita because we always appreciate something that's coming from a fast food restaurant because it's easy and all that. So you don't learn. So all that is within the table. There are many lessons,
There is.
That's why coming from me, because we come from the old generation and we are not like that, because my mother make us work. Before we have to put food at the table, we have to work. From the garden, we pick all the vegetables, we have to wash. After that, we have to peel certain things to do and then get ready for my mother to stir fry, whatever, or sometimes I cook myself. After my mother did, okay, you do vegetable. I do this, you. Okay, your father will do that. And then my sister sibling will set the table. Someone else will do the cleaning. So everybody works as a team. Living at home, it's not just us, kan? So then when you learn to work as a team, everything moves faster, tau. So we learn to be responsible as well to ourselves.
Basically, what you're trying to say is like food is so much more than just food. It means so much more to us.
You'd be so surprised now. You see that people with that kind of upbringing those days, produce people like me. I'm sorry they produce me, okay?
That was today's Hungry Bite. Wisdom and humor from the one and only Chef Wan. His message is clear. When we lose our food, we lose our culture. If this left you wanting more, listen to the full conversation with Chef Wan in Season 1 of The Hungry Immigrant, streaming now on all major platforms. Until next time, I'll always remind everyone to keep their plates adventurous and their hearts open. This has been Hungry Bites with me, Abang Brian.